Guys, in this lecture, I am going to give introduction for power system. In power system, which are all the things that we are going to discuss? Especially, first in power system. Power system, அப்படினா meaning என்ன அப்படினா நம்ம இந்தியாவில் இருக்க எல்லா சிஸ்டமையும் ரைட் எல்லா சிஸ்டமும் அப்படின்னா டிரான்ஸ்மிஷன் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன் ஜெனரேஷன் ரைட் இது எல்லாத்தையுமே ஒன்றா கனெக்ட் பண்ணுற ஒரு சிஸ்டம் தான். தட் இஸ் காம்பினேஷன். இட்ஸ் சிம்பிளி கால்ட் power system. That is the combination of transmission, distribution and generation especially, right? So that is simply called power system. All are connected together. Now in power system, in your exam point of view, which are all the things that we are going to discuss and the most important things, why we are going to discuss about all those things, we will see one by one. First of all, in power system, especially நம்ம என்ன விஷயங்கள்லாம் பண்ண போறோம், we are going to generate the power and then the generated power will going to be transmitted with the help of transmission line and then the transmitted power will going to be what utilized at the distribution side. So the major heart of our power systems are three systems. One is power station, that is generation system. Second one is transmission system, that is the generated power will going to be transmitted through the transmission. அதே மாதிரி இப்போ டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன் சைடில் வந்தோம் அப்படின்னா பவர் தட் இஸ் கன்சியூமர்ஸ் will started consuming the power from the transmission line, that is called distribution system. அப்போ இந்த விஷயங்களை வந்து படிக்கும்போது especially in power system I can say only these three topics are very important. There are no more things to discuss in power system. Okay sir, அப்போ power systemல we have only three things. One is generation, transmission and distribution. Then apart from this, you people are studying, there are so many things. என்னென்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you might be heard about fault analysis, stability analysis, protection. Why we are going to discuss about all these things? Guys, the thing is in power system, when the moment we are generating the power வந்து நம்ம ஜெனரேட் பண்ணும்போது என்னென்ன மாதிரி இருக்கணும், அப்போ நம்ம ஒரு சிஸ்டம் வந்து நம்ம ஒரு சிஸ்டம் வழியாக நம்ம பவரை ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணி டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னா அப்படி நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணும்போது அந்த சிஸ்டமில் என்னென்ன ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ்லாம் வரக்கூடாதுன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து ஃபால்ட் எதுவும் நடக்கக்கூடாது. லைக் மேல் ஃபங்க்ஷனிங் ஆகுதோ இல்லை சிஸ்டமில் வந்து வேறு ஏதாச்சும் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வருது, டிஃபெக்ட்ஸ் வருது, சடன்லி அப்நார்மல் கண்டிஷனுக்கு போகிறது டியூ டு சம் ரீசன்ஸ் ரைட். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி வந்து எந்த ஒரு விஷயங்களுமே வராமல் இஃப் யுவர் பவர் இஸ் ஐடியலி டிரான்ஸ்ஃபரிங் ஃப்ரம் ஒன் பாயிண்ட் டு another point without any losses, then we no need to discuss about the concepts of fault analysis, stability analysis and protection and all. But the thing is, after generating the power from the generating station, first I would like to shift the or boost up the voltage with the help of some transformers, right? அப்ப நம்ம introductionல பார்க்கலாம் power system ஓட structure வந்து எப்படி இருக்கு, நம்ம எப்படி வந்து power generate பண்ண போறோம், everything we will discuss one by one. But first of all you have to understand, after generating the power, when the moment we are trying to transform the power from one point to another point, we are facing so many issues in our transmission line. You might be heard about these things. Let me explain what kind of things. See, in power system, actually first we are generating the power and then the generated power will be transmitted with the help of the transmission line to the distributor, right, or to the distribution side. In the distribution side, the generated power will be utilized by your consumers, like various variable loads are being connected at the distribution side. Okay sir, up to now everything is perfect. But the problem is when we are going with the transmission line, for an example, if I will take three transmission line. In transmission line, if you observe the system, it has only three lines. That is called balanced transmission line. That is three-phase system, right? Now, in the three-phase line, when the moment we are trying to transfer the power, there will be certain uncertainty. Suddenly, there may be a fault. For an example, I have three transmission line. One transmission line might be directly connected with the ground or short circuited. That is called the line to ground fault. Or these two transmission line might be directly short circuited. That is called a double L fault. Or these three transmission lines are suddenly short circuited. That is called a triple L fault. Or two lines are short circuited with the ground. That is called a double LG fault. Or three lines are short circuited with the ground. That is called a triple LG fault. So in the way after designing or after generating the power, when the moment I am trying to transmit the power through the transmission line, we are facing lot of issues in our transmission line, right? So like this abnormal conditions. அப்ப இந்த மாதிரி abnormal conditionsனா எவ்வளவு வரதுக்கான chances இருக்கு? You have to predict. Adha neenga predict panni you have to what, when the moment I am generating or I am trying to transmit the power through the transmission line, I have to see the possibilities. In the transmission line valiya evlo fault current வந்து நடக்கிறதுக்கான chances இருக்குன்றத முன்னாடியே நீங்க வந்து என்ன பண்ணீங்க அப்படினா you have to predict. Okay, that is why we are discussing about the fault analysis, right through the transmission line we have some issues. Those issues will be predicted, right, in advance, right, when the moment we are designing or implementing the transmission line. That is why we are going with the fault analysis. So fault analysis will help us to identify the fault current, that is the level of fault current in each and every transmission line, right? Second case, next protection, right? First I will give introduction for protection. Once you find the faulty current, sir, I understood in this transmission line, now I know the faulty current for each and every cases like LG fault, double L fault, triple LG fault. We found the severity of each faults, and I found the magnitude of my faulty current. Once you find the level of faulty current, then you have to provide the proper protection. Proper protection appadina, suppose if there is any fault in my transmission line, then and the fault nadakkumbodhu enna agunum, I have to keep some equipment. That equipment will help us to identify the abnormal condition of the fault system, right? Faulted zone வந்து abnormal condition எங்க இருக்கு அதை ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணி சடனா என்ன பண்ணனும், சார் இந்த இடத்துல ஒரு ஃபால்ட் இருக்கு, அந்த zone வந்து நீங்க ஐசோலேட் பண்ணி விடுங்க, அந்த zone வந்து நீங்க சரி பண்ணனும் அப்படிங்கறத வந்து நீங்க ஒரு எக்யூப்மென்ட் வச்சு நமக்கு ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? ஃபால்ட் நடக்குது அப்படினா அப்படியே விட்டுற முடியாது இல்ல. So to identify the abnormal condition, if there is any sudden fault analysis will tell us how much amount of current will going to flow through the transmission line during fault. Now the protection equipment, like you might be heard about circuit breakers, right? Circuit breakers and relay. We know the purpose of relay and circuit breakers. Only two switches that we are going to provide or use in our protection: relay and circuit breaker. Those two people are going to play a role in protection scheme. They are going to identify the abnormal condition. If there is any fault, suddenly relay will sense the abnormal condition and send a beautiful signal for your circuit breaker, and then your circuit breaker will isolate the faulty zone. அப்ப நாம என்ன பண்ணோம், we have to provide a proper protection. For that I have to design or I have to study about the types of equipments and the classification of equipments, which are the equipments will be used in different zones for different protection schemes, right? அத பத்தி நாம பார்க்க போறோம் protection. அப்ப கண்டிப்பா we have to study about, definitely we have to study about protection. That's why we are dealing with the protection, right? Apart from that, we are going to deal with the stability analysis. What do we mean by stability? ஒரு டிரான்ஸ்மிஷன் லைன்ல நம்ம என்ன பார்த்திருக்கோம் அப்படினா, suddenly if there is any fault, ஒரு டிரான்ஸ்மிஷன் லைன்ல ஃபால்ட் நடக்குது அப்படினா, this fault is not only affecting the transmission line, it will affect the sending end இருக்க alternators. என்ன நடக்கும் அப்படினா, actually என்ன நடக்கும்னா, in the generating side we are keeping a very big size of alternators, right? So those alternators are going to generate the voltage, and it will be step up with the help of stepper transformer, and that will be transferred through the transmission line. But the thing is, when the moment your transmission lines are facing the fault, or when the moment your transmission lines are undergoing to abnormal condition, in that case what will happen, your generating station is majorly getting affected. அப்ப என்ன நடக்கும் அப்படினா, your alternators are started experiencing a disturbance due to the abnormal condition of your transmission line. அந்த disturbance வந்து எப்படி இருக்கு, அதுல இருந்து நம்ம systems வந்து எப்படி வந்து வெளியில கொண்டு வரது, and how to stabilize the system, how to stabilize your alternators or your generating stations and distribution systems from the abnormal condition. That is what we are going to study under stability analysis. How my alternators are getting affected, how they are feeling the disturbance, right, when the moment your system is undergoing to abnormal condition. அதெல்லாம் படிக்கிறதுக்காக தான் we are going to deal with the stability analysis. Clear? So this is the entire syllabus or curriculum of your power system, right? So we will see all these things, each and every chapter one by one, because each and every things are very important. Even under transmission, distribution, under here we will have one more chapter that is called the generation. I will give small introduction for generation, and then we are going to discuss about the transmission lines. In transmission line, how we are going to control the voltage, how we are stabilizing the transmission line, how we are going to maintain the voltage regulation, how we are going to correct the power factor. There are so many things, huge things, right, lying under transmission line. We are going to discuss about everything, right? And then we are going to discuss about distribution system, how the way we are going to transfer the power in our distribution system, which is the best option. There are so many beautiful things are there to learn in our power system, right? So this is the basic introduction for power system. In the next lecture we will see a small introduction. We will start all the chapter one by one, and I will explain step by step how beautifully our transmission lines are being implemented, how beautifully power are being transmitted and utilized, right? Everything we will see one